Good day, and welcome to the WANA webinar series. As you will notice, all participants have been muted. We are excited to announce the ability to view multi-language closed captioning. To enable this, click on the CC icon located in the bottom left of your screen. To change the language, select the down arrow next to this icon and adjust the caption language option only. If you have a question to ask, please open the Q&A panel by clicking this icon located on the bottom right of your screen. Questions will be answered after the presentation. We will also have a few polls on screen for you to participate in today. We value your feedback. Currently, you will see our first poll question on the right side of your screen. This will automatically open and close with the availability of the polls. If you cannot locate the polls within the WebEx event, please see the chat window for further instructions. Lastly, if you have any technical issues, please send a private chat to the host, the directions of which can be found in your chat window. Thank you for joining, and please welcome Lisa Kessler from Fountain House.
Hello, and welcome to today's webinar, the 25th in our WANA webinar series. Today, we will be exploring what it takes to create a vibrant and engaging multimedia function at your Clubhouse. As a former producer for the Nickelodeon advertising team, this topic is very near and dear to my heart. After 8 years working in the production field, I made the switch to Clubhouse because I was looking for work that would have greater impact than SpongeBob SquarePants. And over the past 12 years working in colleague training at Fountain House, I've heard from countless Clubhouses that have struggled to integrate meaningful media projects into their work order day without hiring an expert in film production or an outside social media consultant. It is clear that multimedia projects create meaningful and exciting work and also provide opportunities to reach beyond the walls of your Clubhouse and into the community at large through sharing the products with an external audience. Today, we will hear from Andrew and Adrienne from Gateway Clubhouse and Dariel, Neil, and William from the Academy at Glengarry. Both clubhouses have identified techniques for making this sometimes intimidating area more well integrated into their work order day. So I'll now turn the stage over to Andrew and Adrienne to introduce themselves and tell us all about their work at Gateway.
Good morning, Clubhouse world. I am Andrew from Gateway Clubhouse, and I'm with
Adrienne.
And
Member.
and we're here to just talk a little bit about media in the work order day. So while we're here, if you want to go ahead and bring up the slideshow, we're going to discuss media functions within the Clubhouse, the uses of different media platforms, how and where to get started, and how to make that less daunting, and how to integrate it into the work order day. We can go to the next slide. Adrienne, what are some good ways to use media in the Clubhouse and the various uses?
We could use, hold on, is that the slide that we're supposed to have? Okay.
It's okay, just go. It's all right. So the media functions in the Clubhouse, they do create more diversity of the work within the Clubhouse. And y'all, there's not a lot required to begin. In fact, the video we'll be presenting to you later was shot completely on a camera left over from the 1990s that we picked up for $10, and we edited it on free software. And with just a simple equipment, you can create diversity in the Clubhouse.
You don't need any experts to get started. You can learn as you go along.
Isn't that right? Kind of like, kitchen units in the Clubhouse. You don't need a top chef from a premier restaurant to get started. Within the Clubhouse world, all you really need is some motivated staff or even a motivated member. And the more motivated people you have, the better. But with that, you can create a standard work order day with reoccurring work for the unit that does create exciting opportunities for members and staff to use their skills in different ways. And because of that, it can be a meaningful way to engage the Clubhouse with relevant information. And you can use this to highlight Clubhouse success stories, milestones, member testimonies, all the good things that are going on within your Clubhouse. Next slide, please. So where are some ways we can use these techniques in our media?
Well, we do social media. Mostly we do Facebook and Instagram. We used to do Twitter, but we haven't done that in a while. Gets the character limits. If they remove the character limit, we might go back to that. You make the in-house daily video that's for the news around the Clubhouse. You can have the newsletter that also tells the news around the Clubhouse, but you can make the newsletters that are for the community. And you can have in-house newsletters like our Inkit, and you can do special projects like we make greeting cards and welcome signs for visitors.
Yep, and we also have special projects like what we're doing right here, and it's very exciting, and we're happy to share this with you. We will be presenting a video here in a minute. Again, the whole thing was shot on a camera that we picked up for less than $20, and used free video editing software to put it together. So, next slide, please. Media within the work ordered day creates exciting opportunities for members and staff to use their skills in a different way. It creates reoccurring, meaningful work for the unit while also supplying diversity within the clubhouse. You can use media to create success stories, highlight milestones and member testimonies, while providing a fun and meaningful way to engage the clubhouse with relevant information. It can be used for social media, daily in-house videos, newsletters, publications, as well as special projects.
Dancing at the beginning of our videos is a fun way to just show the members lighthearted spirits here and to get them engaged in order to watch the video.
I like dancing in the videos because I could be free.
I like dancing because it helps my self-esteem.
I like working in video because I can go around and get footage for, you know, what's going on in the clubhouse, and I feel good about it.
Hosting the video is fun and it gives me something else to do during the day.
I like being the host because it makes me feel like a news anchor.
I love editing the video because it gives me a creative outlet.
I like watching the daily video because it gives me something to look forward to.
I enjoy the daily video very much because it lets me know what's happening at the clubhouse.
The daily video at Gateway is a fun way to engage all the membership of the Clubhouse and to relate milestones, member stories, and important information that's needed to know on a daily or weekly basis. Skits are a great way to highlight fun things in the Clubhouse in a different way.
I enjoy those skits that we do at the Gateway because it's a funny way to explain the situations.
I like the skits because it teaches you standards in a fun way.
Action!
I'm working TEP.
All right!
I think I found the job for me. I'm working TEP. See what a wonderful worker I can be.
The use of social media in the Clubhouse is another way to inform the outside world of things that are happening within the Clubhouse by highlighting member stories, housing stories, TEP successes, socials, and other events that happen within the Clubhouse.
I appreciate the cards that we make here at Gateway because it is a chance to make the members feel individual and valued, and it's just an uplifting thing.
By making cards, I feel like I make a difference in the Clubhouse.
Working in the media unit at Gateway allows me to use my skills in a new way.
Media has helped me develop my skills here at Gateway House.
Almost no budget is required except the initial equipment. We at Gateway started with a $20 camera that we bought from a thrift store. Media in the Clubhouse creates exciting opportunities for members and staff to use skills in a different way. It provides a fun and meaningful way to engage the Clubhouse with relevant information, with little startup cost and no experts needed. You too can get started with media in your Clubhouse to unlock key potentials of staff and members. So there are a lot of uses and creative outlets to be done with media in the Clubhouse, and not all of it's with a video camera, as we see. But you can start simple. You need almost no budget. You don't need a $10,000 grant to get started, and nowadays cell phones could get better quality video than what we just showed. But it's a great way to engage the memberships. I know Academy at Glengarry is going to talk a little bit more about the fundraising part of it and specific equipments. Currently, we use video cameras, and what's the name of the program we use?
Final Cut Pro.
Final Cut Pro. But for getting started, you can use OpenShot, which is free, iMovie if you have a Mac. And again, I believe Academy at Glengary is going to go a little more into that. But more important than the equipment to get started, what do we need?
We need motivated staff to get things started, and you need to have the members engaged and excited about what they're doing.
So I guarantee there is somebody that's excited to do something with media in your Clubhouse, and like we do with strengths based, let's use that inspiration, let's use that creativity, and use it for a way that not only creates meaningful work, but benefits the entire Clubhouse. If we can go to the next slide. So with that being said, even like the Clubhouse way is, we break everything down into smaller parts. We have different people collecting videos. We have different people doing the interviews. This way, it doesn't seem like an overwhelming task, much like you would do with billing or the work in the day in the kitchen. We use media projects, as you saw a little bit of. We take the standards and make fun skits out of them as ways to demonstrate the standards. We call it standards in action. And the things that we do between the gift cards and in our daily video, other clubhouses do weekly or bi-weekly news kind of videos. But either way, that is daily meaningful work that can be done in your clubhouse that is time-oriented and structured for meaningful daily work. Last slide. So to conclude, media does create more diversity of work within the clubhouse. It provides outlets for people that may not otherwise be engaged. You don't need a lot to start, which again, Academy at Glengarry is going to go a little bit more on that. But more importantly, you don't need experts. YouTube videos are a great way to suss out things that you're kind of unsure of. And I'm sure there's somebody in your clubhouse that kind of knows some things that might surprise you. It is meaningful work. It's reoccurring work. If you want to say something.
It's not really that hard to learn how to use the video software because a lot of it is just drag and drop.
This is true. A few minutes of practice and you can kind of put something together, but it is a fun and meaningful way to engage the clubhouse with relevant information. And you can highlight the great things that are happening within your clubhouse, such as milestones and testimonies of members and staff.
Terrific. Thank you guys so much for that really insightful presentation. And now we will hear from Dariel, Neil, and William over at the Academy of Glengarry.
Well, good morning, Clubhouse community. I'm Neil Blake. I'm a member of the Academy at Glengarry. I've been coming here for about a year and a half.
Yeah, and I'm Dariel Paredes, and I'm the multimedia instructor here at the Academy. Thanks to Gateway Clubhouse, we're doing such a fantastic job. We love seeing all the clubhouses excited about technology. So we'll give you a quick overview of what our presentation is today. We're ready for a slide. Yeah, thank you. Next slide, please.
Why? Why bring multimedia into the Clubhouse in the first place? The how, as in how do we get started with this? Incorporating media into your day, the role of social media, and then we'll talk a little bit about seeking funding opportunities.
Next slide, please. So why? There are several answers to this. First and foremost, bringing tech into the Clubhouse brings so much engaging work to members, from shooting videos to script writing, acting, lights, cue cards, and editing. There's something for everyone, no matter the skill level. Next slide, please.
Making in-house videos is a great way to get your donors' attention. A short, simple video not only promotes a facet of the work or the day, but it is in itself a testimonial to successful outcomes.
Here at the Academy, we create our own marketing material in-house. All our brochures, our banners, our weekly and quarterly newsletters are all a collaboration between the multimedia and the graphic design unit. The photos we take go to our weekly newsletter, our invitations, our banners, and everything else. And all our videos are used to promote our clubhouse in our website and our social media. So it's a great marketing tool.
Using member-made videos for marketing purposes not only shows off members' skill, it also demonstrates your clubhouse resourcefulness in creating an effective tool without spending money at an outside agency.
Next slide, please. So probably most of you watching are wondering how to even get started. We really want to stress that you don't need a lot of fancy, expensive equipment to be effective. These days, you can use your phone as a camera. If you're going to invest in anything, we recommend getting a decent camera and a microphone. And as you grow your multimedia team, you can always add and upgrade your technology. And you can use free softwares such as iMovie or DaVinci Resolve, and there are some others. But let's talk for a second about video editing. I know a lot of people are super intimidated by this, but honestly, it's not as scary as people might think. So Neil, as a member learning video editing here, what do you think? What do you think of that?
I think if you have basic computer skills, you can cut, copy, and paste and follow directions. You can learn to edit. It's just like following a routine at home. You brush your teeth, you shower, you make your bed is the same as file, new project, new name, import, export. Uh, Final Cut is a great software that we use to do this.
Yeah. Next slide, please.
So how do we use Media at the Academy? For one thing, photographer is a task listed on Multimedia Unit's job board, and it seems like there's always a member roving the building with a camera. Candid shots of members and staff at work are great to have, even if just posted on Slack for your own community to see. Photos of guests might be used on social media, member portraits, or used for our ID cards, employment boards, and more.
Next slide, please. And then there's video. For job seekers, we film mock interviews in order to improve our interview preparation. There's nothing quite like seeing yourself on screen, fidgeting your chair or staring at your shoes to make you aware of your body language.
We do a bi-weekly news program that is strictly just for us. We show it at lunch on Fridays. It's funny and lighthearted, and it doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, the bloopers are usually the best parts. It's another great way to incorporate creativity and technology. We cover what's been going on at the Academy. Sometimes we will create a spoof commercial or have a segment on our pets. This is more about process than product. It's fun and it provides engaging work.
Next slide, please.
One of the simplest and most effective projects is our member testimonials. We sit down with members and help them craft a 2 to 3 minute monologue about what the Academy means to them and how it improves. Short, impactful testimonials have been used in countless ways. We use them at our fundraisers, on our Giving Day pages, on websites, Facebook, Instagram, and when we present to the community. And this is a great example of something that you can do on your phone. Recently shot with Academy member Paul Ennikes.
Next slide, please.
My name is Paul Hennickes, and I've been a member of the Academy since June of 2018. I was first drawn to check out the Academy because I was hospitalized 2 times in a 6-month period. My first impression of the Academy was that everyone was so friendly and nice, and there was no judgment whatsoever about me having a mental illness. The most unexpected thing I get out of attending the Academy is that I'm benefiting as much as I'm helping the Academy. I previously I was a CPA in industry for a number of years. I had to give up that career as a result of my mental illness. So when I came to the Academy, I started doing the accounting. And doing the accounting has benefited the Academy, but it's benefited me just as much, if not more. My friends and family have said that I'm more confident than I was before I started coming to the Academy. And my favorite thing to do at the Academy is the accounting that I talked about. It's being able to show other members, other staff, things like that. I thank the Academy and am thankful for the Academy. My future is bright.
So that was one of our members' video testimonial, and we just wanted to show this to talk about how we made this video that we thought was very impactful. So for this video, as you can see in this behind the scenes photo, we used a phone to record the video, and then we used another phone to record the audio that we placed closer to him. So as far as equipment, we really just use phones, and then to edit this video, we edited on iMovie, which is also a free editing software on Mac. So we just wanted to show that as an example of a video with basically no equipment. Next slide, please.
Along these same lines, we try not to let a distinguished visitor get away without a quick interview. When a politician or employer or other important guest visits your clubhouse, sit them down in front of a camera and ask them a few questions. With even just one question, what were your impressions of our clubhouse? We'll have a sound bite, video clip, collection to use as needed, depending on the audience for a specific project. Tailor your content to achieve your desired outcome. You might not even know where or how exactly you would use your recording. That's okay. Save it, name it, file it, and put it away until.
Next slide, please. So Instagram and Facebook are great platforms for posting photographs or short reels or stories. Stories can be a 10-second clip of your culinary team working on something great, or just a moment where everyone is clearly having fun. And when you get a routine down of posting regularly, a picture will emerge and your followers will begin to understand your culture. Next slide, please.
The sky is truly the limit, from guest interviews and poignant member stories to tutorial videos, even the virtual tour of your clubhouse, which you can view hours on our website at academysrq.org. Multimedia allows you to engage, educate, entertain, and inspire. I like to think we're pretty hilarious, so we use humor a lot in our work. We love making comedy sketches and use them to bring some levity to otherwise serious topics. One example of this is in our COVID video that highlighted our COVID precautionary measures. So here's a short clip from that.
Next slide, please.
Once upon a time.
Welcome to the Academy. What? Welcome to the Academy. I just have a few questions for you. Have you been to Connecticut?
No. Connecticut though? Really?
Oh, sorry, you're right. That was so last week. But have you traveled outside of the upper third of the lower 48 of the continental U.S. or unincorporated areas of Sheboygan, Wisconsin?
No. What?
Have you been on a plane, train, bus, boat, camel, cab, pogo stick, tilt-a-whirl, rickshaw, zip line, tightrope, or bicycle built for two? Have you been exposed to anyone who has tested positive for COVID-19, toe fungus, gingivitis, chronic whistling, or fleas? Have you experienced any symptoms including cough, fever, difficulty yodeling, or standing on one leg while clucking like a chicken, uncontrollable urge to eat soup with your hands, or hiccups lasting longer than 12 days, but only on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and alternating Sundays?
No, but I have had a twitch in my left eye since last Tuesday. Got a little arthritis in my elbow. I have a bunion on my left foot. You want to see?
That's okay. That won't be necessary. But please, come on in. Here's your mask and your hazmat suit.
Oh, shoot. Look at the time. It's too late. I've got to go home.
Oh, okay. No problem. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, so that was a quick skit that we made for one of our events. So I thought that was funny. So this is so now we've come to our section about funding. I will now pass it over to William. He's our director here at the Academy, and he'll be able to talk about this. So William, take it away, please.
Sure. Thank you, Dariel. Thank you, Neil. And good to greet everybody across the world in Clubhouse International and all our colleagues. I think Gateway has done a nice job, as well as Dariel and Neil, of really being clear that you can start anywhere. You can start with your cameras. You can start with the computers that you have. So I'd like to bring up a few ideas about funding. As you grow your multimedia, obviously funding for that area is important, as you will improve your software and your hardware, your equipment. But again, what's your starting point? If you have no multimedia whatsoever, you probably want to start small and start with a camera, a computer, as Dariel mentioned. But as you're raising money, I think the first question I'd like to raise is to ask you, what is your vision to work with your members and staff? What would you like to achieve in your multimedia? Do you have a space for that? And having that vision is so important when you're talking to funders, or you're writing a grant, or you're talking to donors, or maybe your hospice agency. And then part of that is, what equipment and software do you need? When we first implemented the Academy 4 years ago, we purchased some equipment that we don't use. There's not a lot of that, but some of that equipment we realized that we didn't need after all. So maybe even hiring a consultant, or looking at other Clubhouse programs that have multimedia areas to build on what works, and not going out and purchasing what you think you might need. We've learned a lot in that process. And when it comes to funders, one of the things that we've learned is that there's certain funders that are interested, or donors, are interested more in programmatic or operational expenses, and others are interested more in capital expenses, what's called bricks and mortar. And so ideally, we've identified bricks and mortar funders for things like equipment and software, those one-time expenses that hopefully will last you quite a few years. And as a reminder for raising money, relationships, it's all about the relationships and building those relationships, meeting the decision makers as well. You know, a lot of foundation boards or a lot of organizations that donate money, they have volunteer board of directors, and having those folks come in and visit your clubhouse and take a tour it's so essential to open up your doors and helping them understand what your vision is around multimedia and how tech can be important. You know, justifying your ask, why is, I think this webinar has been really clear about how multimedia can really enhance the work order day and be a key piece of our members' growth and rehabilitation, as well as the marketing aspect of organizations. So being able to justify why technology, why that investment is so important. One of the things that's been helpful to us has been matching gift opportunities. Sometimes donors or funders don't want to be the only one to contribute. So finding a donor that's interested in doing a match where you would raise part of it and they would provide part of it, typically a one-to-one match, has also been useful to us. And then I guess I want to offer, if, you know, as you're thinking about really implementing a multimedia studio like Gateway has or like we have, it really takes planning ahead. You know, to throw out a figure, kind of upper end on a multimedia studio implementation is approximately $50,000. So certainly you can start with phones and a computer. As you build that up, I think I want to dispel the myth. It's not $500,000 to implement a studio. We're implementing a studio in Bradenton, our new clubhouse program, and the quote we have is approximately $50,000. So that gives you a sense. So you'll be somewhere in that range as you're developing your multimedia. And planning ahead with funders is so important to get on a grant cycle, to project yourself out a year from now or 2 years from now, what you would like to achieve. So, you know, there's a lot to be said about funding for multimedia, and we're certainly available if people want to follow up individually about how we write our grants, how we present that, or what we've done to develop funding for our multimedia area. So that's what I have to offer. Good to see everybody. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, William. Thank you. Next slide, please. Yeah, awesome. Go ahead.
Before we leave you, we want to show you a clip from a video that we made for Clubhouse International. It's the best practices video for how to develop a transitional employment site. This was shot in 3 different locations. The piece you will see is in an interview employer site. We used 3 cameras, a lighting setup, and a boom microphone. We used Final Cut Pro to edit it. The reason we want you to see a more polished video is because everything that members learned on budget equipment prepared them for the projects such as this. This video was edited by one of our members after he learned the process by editing or member testimonials. The point is the educational values are exactly the same regardless of how expensive the equipment.
Next slide, please.
That's our plans. Let's go and talk with Steve. I have our presentation materials ready, so come join me.
William, thank you for coming by.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Steve.
it. Yep, absolutely.
It's a wonderful opportunity to come and share our transitional employment program with you this morning.
Absolutely. You know, we're really excited at this opportunity to discuss it a little bit. So how's your drive in? Safe? Everything good?
Everything's fine. You know, we're fortunate we're close by, but everything was fine. So thank you.
Good.
So you recently attended our ambassador luncheon, and I'm guessing, I'm not really sure. Did you have a tour? Were you able to see what we do at our clubhouse?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it was really, I was well received, well welcomed. And I must say, changed my perspective of what I thought I was going to go through entirely. It's a really impressive facility, and your staff and your members are just wonderful.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
You It's a place of recovery for folks that have a mental health diagnosis and recovery from mental illnesses. And, we see ourselves as a community partner. One of the goals of our members, or some of our members, is employment. And today I'd love to talk to you about some of that. And, you visited our teams. If you toured the facility, you saw we have arts and communications. We have a business and technology team. We have a culinary team. And some of those members are getting ready for paid employment. And our transitional employment program is an opportunity to help place members at area businesses.
All right, so the last thing we'll say is, well, you don't need a multimedia expert. You do need someone with a passion and the willingness to put in the time into the learning curve. YouTube is a great source of information. If you search online video tutorials on equipment or software that you might want to use, you'll find a lot of content out there. We hope that the biggest takeaway is that you can get started with little to no special equipment, and that it isn't as daunting as you might think. The rewards are immeasurable for your clubhouse. Creative, engaging work in the unit, increase the visibility of your clubhouse, and money-saving measures by doing the work yourself. We hope that this was helpful, and we really hope you stay in touch with us. We can't wait to see what you create. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. I really appreciate how both of these presentations really showed the wide gamut of work that can be accomplished through multimedia function, from something very simple and silly moments in your clubhouse to something much more formal like the employment video that you guys showed. I think that all of those things are very worthwhile and important. And as you said, depending on your starting point, every clubhouse can integrate some level of this work. So I think we're going to open up to a Q&A. I see some chat has been going on, and I would love for some of those folks who are making comments to submit questions that we can explore for a little further discussion right now. I know somebody had asked about the spaces. So as William noted, both of you guys do have some dedicated space for your studio. Is that accurate? We saw it in Academy. We saw it in your video, right? You're like set up with the microphones.
Yeah, so we have a studio where we record more sit-down interviews in our news and news show, which is dedicated for this. And we also have some background drops we can use this space for too. But yeah, we're sitting on it right now. This is our studio here. But then we also film all around the Academy as well.
Mm-hmm. And how about you guys at Gateway? What are you using now?
Yeah, so as I typed in chat, we literally started in a closet and just had little, that was our dedicated space.
And we had a sheet that was taped over a piece of cardboard.
So,
and my green screen.
Yeah, it was fun. But yeah, I mean, it's just a testament to kind of using what's on hand. But like with anything in the clubhouse, if this is something you're going to do, make a space for it. It just kind of gives it a home, gives it more of a purpose, and you generate that excitement around that space. And then, like Glengarry said earlier, the equipment, the technology kind of grows with your needs, and the space should too. So you just start with what you have and make it your own, and it'll grow with that excitement that comes with doing media.
Great point. Okay, so I will ask Nikki to let us know what the first question is that's come in.
Absolutely. And if anyone's having trouble finding the Q&A panel, you could simply click on the icon in the bottom right of your screen. So for our first question today, how do you make the work of editing accessible to more than one or two experts?
It's a good question. Academy, do you guys want to take that first?
How do we make the work accessible to who? To members?
So the work of editing seems to be one of the most difficult pieces for clubhouses to integrate. It typically falls to one or two experts who know how to use the software. So have you guys been able to find a way to make it more accessible to more people?
Well, I'm the person who usually teaches our members, and we have several computers that have our video editing, And really, we try to create a lot of editing work. So we have several video projects going on at once. And like we said, it might seem intimidating, but it might not be as hard as you think. You can start with simple projects, just kind of teaching your members how to cut and paste and move clips around, and you can have several members working on that, and then they'll advance to be able to do more complicated stuff. But we have several computers, and usually, you can teach those skills, and then they can take it on their own, and then eventually they won't need that much help, especially when you have recurring work that's the same. Our news and noon show and Gateway, you can probably speak to this. It's kind of the same every time. They might be a little bit different, and that's where you can help. But hopefully, your members will gain those skills, be able to edit that stuff on their own.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point in terms of there needing to be somebody who sort of is an expert in the software, whether that's a staff person or a member or somebody that's willing to teach other people how to use it, because it's not something that you'll learn by osmosis. It's not something you could just pick up and know how to do. So I think that idea of training other people is really important. How about you guys at Gateway?
Well, it's not really that hard to teach people. It's mostly drag and drop. So, and if we want to do something fancy, then we look on YouTube and follow the directions on YouTube.
Yeah, and a lot like Academy stated, we do have multiple stations for multiple projects. Editing our daily news video from start to finish can be daunting, although Adrienne is a master at it and can do it. We also like to keep other ones running, the intros and bumps, the little commercials, the skits. Those are, smaller pieces, as is the Clubhouse way, that someone can kind of get in and get a feel for without a lot of pressure of, oh my God, I got to do this daily video and it's due by 1:30. We can start by making a bump or a skit, a project that takes more than one day to get someone's feet wet. Really, all you need is the interest, and everything else is kind of cross-training. Members that are interested, we pair them up with members that know what's going on, and they learn from each other, and most importantly, build those relationships while performing meaningful work.
Great points. Thank you. What's the next question, Nikki?
For our next question, what unit is this work integrated into in your Clubhouse?
Andrew, looks like you have an answer to that one.
So yeah, we're also a training base, and in terms of best practices and in Clubhouse philosophy, we very much like to diversify the work of the units. As we know, members like a particular staff, but may not like a particular aspect of the unit. And so in the spirit of diversifying not only the work of the Clubhouse, but the work in each individual unit, our media unit actually belongs to our clerical unit. So you have everything from invoices and billing and note checking and assignments to the media projects, which creates a massive gap in diversity of the work of the unit, which honestly creates a draw, because we do have a lot of people that like working on computers, and some days they like to edit video, and some days they like to run an invoice during our attendance period, and it just kind of works out for the space and the work of the unit and the diversity of it.
Great. And how about you guys at Academy? Is multimedia integrated into one unit, or is it its own unit?
The multimedia, we integrate that into whatever we're doing here at the Academy. So whatever projects we're working on, those are what that we'll use those projects to teach, or to learn from our past mistakes or whatever errors that we have made. So that's how it's integrated into our workday.
Yeah, it's very much our own team. Multimedia is something that is so collaborative. I think we try to include every single unit in our work. We make skits with business and tech. We sometimes go to culinary and we take their photos or what they're doing that day, or we make a skit with them, or a video, a tutorial. So even though we have our own multimedia and graphic design as well, we try to use everybody and really try to engage all our members. So we have our own unit, but everybody can participate, and you can bring those into different units that work.
Mm-hmm.
So
just to clarify, so it's multimedia unit at Academy, and multimedia is part of the clerical did you say clerical unit at Gateway?
Yes, it is incorporated. I mean, like kind of like Academy, we do have a team that's fairly regular on working with the media. And like it, yeah, we interrupt the entire clubhouse with our fun, getting our videos and stuff, incorporating as you saw in our dance videos and stuff. But the space is in the media, in the clerical unit.
Okay, cool, great.
All right, for our next question, what type of work can you put on task boards for daily or weekly work?
Academy, do you guys want to take that first?
Sure. We have our photographer, like we mentioned in our presentation, whoever is going to do the around the academy photos, and sometimes that can be more than one member. We have our editing, video editing or picture editing.
Yeah, we have graphic design as well. So they whatever business cards or like cards that you want to work on, that's what they do over there. Believe her name is Joanne. She runs over there. She manages everyone over there. I wouldn't say run, but yeah. So yeah, it's basically multimedia, but instead we're using like cards and paper and not computer.
Cool. And how about you guys at Gateway?
So yeah, and there's a couple questions in the Q&A thing as well that can be addressed by this. Just like any unit in the clubhouse, we break it down according to the needs of the unit and the needs of the day. You know, we don't need a birthday card every day, but there is a structure for that in place. Same kind of deal with social media. We have a schedule and a process for that. And we're not making work. We're just identifying the work that needs to go into it. So with that said, we break down the projects according to the project. You know, if it's a skit, we might do a storyboard. If it's a project like this, we have a whiteboard that we write down all the pieces. And again, as this clubhouse way, we broke those down into the smallest pieces necessary, and we ask for people who are willing. So to answer the question about what does it take to get a member engaged in media, you just need a willing member. If someone's exciting, there is a use for them in media. You know, someone might be super excited about it, but may not have good editing skills. That's okay. They can work the camera. They can hold the boom while they learn. They can be the host. You know, they can help design slides for social media. But again, it's all broke down to the smallest bits. And then, as is the work order day, we ask for people who are interested, and being an expert's not required. Anything to add?
Oh, I forgot the question. I'm sorry.
It's about how we break down the work and make it accessible.
We need to get people doing what they're good at and what they feel like they can do. You don't want to start off people, throw them in the deep end. You want them to start off slowly.
Yeah, so it's all about their interests.
Great, thank you.
All right, and that kind of goes into our next question. What software program do you recommend for beginners?
Good question. Gateway, I think you said you guys use Final Cut Pro, which is a pretty intense editing software. Do you have other options as well, or do you just use that?
We use that here, but there are other programs you can use that are free or low cost. Some of them just come with your computer, like iMovie or Windows. What do you call the Windows one?
Yeah, video editor or something. But yeah, one I always recommend for Windows is iMovie. I think someone else mentioned another one in chat. They're all good. And honestly, like, yeah, Final Cut can be very daunting for someone that jumps in on it. But within a few minutes, you can teach people the keys of copy, pasting, and dragging and importing. And you don't need to use all the bells and whistles that are on it to get started. But seeing all the bells and whistles can be intimidating. So, but with that said, yeah, I mean, OpenShot's another, one I recommend, and the other ones, they're fairly simple and straightforward. And I mean, with interest, a 5-minute YouTube tutorial will really get you started, and you can kind of put something together quick. I'd also recommend when you start your media team, if you want a daily video, that's a great goal. maybe slow down, maybe give members and staff time to kind of get acclimated to the program. Maybe start with something small and just to kind of get a feel for the program before you run it in production and make it a full work order day thing. But again, it's up to the needs of your clubhouse.
Sorry, maybe you can start by doing skits or something like that to get people into it before you start doing a news video.
So good.
Yeah, I really like the point I believe that Dariel made regarding almost like templates, like there's the news show has sort of a set structure. So it's makes it a little bit more accessible to jump in because you know what you're supposed to be, what the desired outcome is, as opposed to sort of just an open blank slate. So
yeah, and it's intimidating because media is just such a wide world and you can do absolutely everything. But, much like a food prep unit, you have a structure. It might be different food every day, but you still have a structure for how that meal is achieved at the end of the day. And video is no different. You have a structure for all the processes. They might look different at the end of the day, but start with what you're comfortable with.
Yep. How about you guys in terms of software, preferred software?
We use iMovie for that one video. I believe that's free, and it was very similar to Final Cut Pro. Honestly, a little more like maybe less tools, but that's the only one I know. I know DaVinci Resolve, you can get it for free as well. I haven't really used that one, but I want to say that the editing softwares are more similar than they're different. Once you learn the basics of video editing, like how do you cut a video, how do you move it, the differences in the softwares are really where the buttons are. That's why you have to get adjusted to this is called split rather than blade or cut. They use different names, but it's the same tool. And then once you get those basics down on what to cut, when you learn a software, really you're just finding out where the buttons are. Would you agree with that, Gateway? I mean, I feel like that's pretty accurate because we used iMovie here for the first time for that one video, and I was surprised of how similar it was and how good it was, honestly. iMovie is free, and it was excellent. I mean, we were able to do everything we do on Final Cut there.
Yeah, that's a fantastic point. Yes, once you kind of get used to the process of editing a video, no matter what you're doing with it, from program to program, yeah, they're very similar. Like you said, it's just where the buttons are at.
So I saw a question had come in regarding best kept secret tips for engaging members. And I think that's a really good one. It's, picking a software and sticking to it. Because when you're changing it up, then you have to relearn something and it's, oh, this is different than the last time I did it. So now I need to start over again. But if you utilize the same software for a long period of time, then, you build upon your skills and you become, just better and quicker at doing these projects. And I'll just say that Ben from Be More Clubhouse also offered up Filmora X as a software that he finds user-friendly and is his go-to software for starting to learn about editing. Nikki, do we have any other questions?
We do. Andrew kind of touched on it already, but I wanted to see if the Academy has anything to add to it. What does it take to get a member to get engaged in media in a work-ordered day at a clubhouse? And that's added to the what are the best kept secrets.
Well, just to touch on what Gateway brought up, they have to be willing and they have to want to learn the software that we use. They would have to be they'd have to be as I said, they have to be willing. They have to be a willing host or to learn our projects.
Yeah, willing to help really. Yeah. I can think of a specific example. Once we were making our news show and we used a teleprompter, and you would think you would need some sort of special multimedia experience, but really once you hit it in the teleprompter, you just have to scroll down, and we just grabbed a member that was willing to help us from a different unit for a business and tech unit. His name is Tim. I was like, hey, we need someone to do the teleprompter. You mind doing it? And he was so willing to help. He came in, never been in multimedia before, and we just kind of taught him how to do the teleprompter. and it was fantastic. He did a great job, and he's never been. So there are other also what's it called, positions that you might think you need multimedia skills, but you really don't. I mean, we try to break down our projects into positions: the video guy, the audio, the lighting, cue cards. So if people, and everybody here is so willing to always help where it's needed, you can engage them with those type of positions where they might just need to hold a camera, or might need to hold a microphone, or might need to do the teleprompter, which is just somebody there to help us,
Right. Or to like take photos.
Take photos.
We use those for web articles. So
Yeah.
we use all those stuff.
Yeah, and we can teach you right there, and then you get going and you get practice on it, and no special skills required, just willingness to help out a team. You're not afraid. You're not afraid to make mistakes. That's right. That's okay. That's okay. Mistakes are good. It means you're learning.
Yep.
Good point. Great point. You guys have any secret tips from Gateway?
Just be genuine. I mean, video projects are naturally exciting. You just have to bring that excitement and share it with the memberships. And like anything exciting, more and more people will want to become a part of it, especially when they start seeing the project. And when we roll through our clubhouse hooting and hollering and just having a good time with it, people tend to follow us and get more interested, and that's how you grow it. So I love, Academy said there's no special skills required. Someone needs to have basic knowledge of a computer, but every other position in media does not need skills. And, like we said, those skills can be picked up quite easily as long as you can use a computer. So just bring that motivation, bring that excitement. The things that you want, they are exciting. Show that excitement and people will be a part of it.
Great.
All right, this will be our last topic of discussion. So Magnolia Clubhouse said it would be nice to have a forum for clubhouses to share and ask questions on a regular basis to help improve each clubhouse's program. Do either of you know of something like this or have any ideas of how something like this could be started?
I believe they worked with just a camcorder, so like a regular camera, and that's how they started their video. So I believe interpreting that into Magnolia, it'd be the same. So they start off just basics, and you can go a little bit more advanced with whatever project you're working on. So.
Great. Gateway, did you have anything to add?
I mean, a forum with, sticky threads with tips and tricks, and that would be a really cool thing. It would be fun to maybe set up. We would participate in that. In the meantime, though, I mean, Gateway is always here to help out a fellow clubhouse. Feel free to email us or call us. We want to support one another in this. So if someone wants to design a forum, we'd be more than happy to participate on it. And like I said, in the meantime, call, text, video chat, whatever you need. We're here to help out our fellow clubhouses. Media is not something you want to miss out on in your clubhouse. It's very powerful.
Yeah. We would like to extend that same invitation. I don't know if there's an email thread or a group chat or something. If somebody wants to make something, but yeah, we'll be willing to participate. And same thing, contact us, email us. We would love to help.
There are free forms that you can set up, like Pro Boards or JSync or whatever, and you can set up a board there and admit the members from the different clubhouses, and then everyone can have a talk there, and it'll be pretty easy to set up.
That could evolve into something cool.
Great.
Nice.
Thank you all for your input. That concludes our session for today. If we have not answered your question, please send an email to wanawebinar@fountainhouse.org. The PowerPoint presentations for today's session and documents mentioned will be sent directly to everyone in attendance, and the recording will be made available next week. Please take a moment to fill out our survey. It will be on the right-hand side of your screen. And thank you all for joining. Please be on the lookout for announcements regarding future webinars.